Very good morning, children. So, yesterday we have learned about the story of microorganisms part 1. So, today we'll go ahead with the story of microorganisms part 2. Now, microorganisms, we have seen that they are present everywhere, right? They are present in the soil, they are present in the air, they are present in the water, and even they are present in the human beings, even animals, and also in the plants. So these microorganisms, we have seen that they cause diseases, and that's why they are really harmful. Are they our friends or enemies? That's a question. So there are enemies because they cause diseases. Are they our friends? Are they really useful to us? That is what we are going to see in this lesson. How they are useful to us and also how they are harmful to us. Now, first of all, we'll talk about the useful microorganisms. Some microorganisms, they are very, very useful to us in our daily life. Some of them are making our life very easy, right? For example, in the preparation of the curd, we use the microorganisms. I'll let you know how, okay? And then using in making some of the medicines also, microorganisms are used so that we can get rid of several diseases. And in the preparation of some food items at home, we use the microorganisms. And some of the microorganisms are, okay, like they're farmer friendly. Because farmers, when they grow the crops and all, they have to get the soil fertile. In the last class, we have seen that some of the microorganisms help in making the soil fertile. So they are really farmer friendly. So as an activity 1, what we'll do is we'll take some lukewarm milk in 2 beakers. You take 2 beakers. Take 2 beakers. Okay. And in 1 beaker, in 2 beakers, you take the lukewarm milk. Here also you take lukewarm milk. Now, to one of the beaker, you add few spoons of buttermilk, and whereas the other one you leave it aside, don't add anything in that. Okay, so if you don't add anything in that, just leave it for 5 to 6 hours. Now, do you see any kind of change in that? Do you see any kind of change in the first bowl, or can you see any change in the second bowl? Yes, in the first bowl we see a change that the milk is no more in the liquid nature. It has come together, it has coagulated, and then it forms into a solid like substance, which we call it as curd. Whereas here, where the milk we have kept it as it is, there will be no change in that. Okay, now what is the reason behind that? What is the reason behind that? The reason is the bacteria which is called as lactobacillus. This is also called as the lactic acid bacteria. So this lactobacillus or the lactic acid bacteria is actually present in the curd. So now what you're doing, you're taking some curd or you're taking some buttermilk and you're adding into the lukewarm milk. That means now this curd will have several bacteria which are called as lactobacillus. So all these go into this milk and convert that milk again into curd. And again you take this some part of curd, again you add into some other beaker with the milk. So this is what we do regularly. So you are transferring the lactic acid bacteria, and these bacteria are converting the milk into curd. Isn't it useful? Okay, isn't it useful? Yes, this microorganism which is called as lactobacillus or lactic acid bacteria are really useful to us. Okay, now we'll go ahead with the other experiment, right? So now you take 100 grams of maida, all-purpose flour, that is what we say in English, the maida, and you take it in a bowl and then add 2 spoons of yeast powder. Okay, that baker's yeast now you will get in the bakery. So if you go to bakery and ask for the yeast, they will give you. So you can buy it from the bakery, and also you add 2 spoons of yeast to the food and then keep it aside. Maybe, and what you can do is you can knead the dough. Okay, you keep on kneading the you can this flour and all, and make into a nice soft dough. Okay, and then after that you keep it aside for 3 to 4 hours. Can you see any change? Yes, definitely we'll see a change in that, because this dough which you have made, that becomes a bit big in size, isn't it? That will swell a bit, because the process which has taken place is the fermentation process. Increase, if you have kept in the cup, it will overflow, it will come out. Okay, the same thing which you can see here is also in the dosa or the idli batter which you make. The night you keep the batter ready, and the very next day when you see that, it will be a bit high, isn't it? So it will increase its level. So whatever the level you have kept it, it will increase up to some more level. So this is nothing but the process of fermentation which is happening in this kind of foods, and this whole fermentation process is only because of the microorganisms. So they are helping us to give some nice foods like curd, idli, dosa. Okay, all these things we are able to enjoy because of the microorganisms. Okay, and now what we do is, we'll also do this kind of experiment. We'll take a small bowl, okay, and we'll take two. What you can do is, you can take some water in two separate beakers. You take two beakers like this again, two separate beakers. So now here we are taking two beakers here, and in one beaker we have taken 5 to 10 spoons of sugar, and in that other beaker also we have taken the same 5 to 10 spoons of sugar. Okay, and now what we do is, here in this beaker we'll take some water, okay, and we'll stir it off and make it into a sugar solution, and also here also take some water and make it into a sugar solution. Now what we'll do is, we'll take 2 to 3 spoons of yeast and we'll mix in this beaker, but will not mix anything in this beaker. That means now this beaker has sugar and also yeast in that. Okay, now coming to what is yeast, already we have discussed that yeast is a kind of fungi. Okay, it is a microorganism which belongs to the group of fungi. So now there is yeast in that, and now cover the both lids. Okay, keep it aside, and maybe after 3 to 4 hours you can remove the lid and smell the contents. So what kind of difference you will observe? So if you smell here, you will not smell anything, no smell will come out. But whereas if you smell here, you will. So if you smell it, it will give you the smell of alcohol. It will give you the smell of alcohol, and it is a characteristic smell of alcohol. So here what happened is, this yeast has converted the sugars into alcohol. Okay, that is the reason why you will get the smell of alcohol. This process of conversion of sugars into alcohol is called as fermentation. It is called as fermentation. This is the same process which is used in the making of beer, okay, and also wine. So all these drinks are made out of this kind of process where yeast is added into the sugars, and what is produced is alcohol is produced. Okay, so even in the sugar industry also, when you make the molasses which is produced in the sugar industry is also used in the preparation of the ethyl alcohol by adding yeast for fermentation process. So the molasses produced in the sugar industry is used in the preparation of ethyl alcohol. Okay, it is used in preparation of the ethyl alcohol by adding yeast for fermentation process. So ethyl alcohol is made out of the same fermentation process where you will add some yeast to the molasses. So that is how you can say we are using the micro. These are by this we can say that microorganisms are really useful to us. So now coming to the medicinal use of the microorganisms. So coming to the medicinal use of microorganisms, sometimes when you fall down, when you get injured, what you do is you go to a doctor, and when you go to a doctor will give you some medicines, isn't it? And all these medicines, like they will be antibiotics, because when you fall down, some kind of microorganisms might have entered into your body through the blood or through the wounded area. So they can cause a lot of infections in your body. Sometimes it becomes septic. Sometimes it may lead to a problem called as tetanus. So to get rid of all these things and all, you go to a doctor, and doctor will prescribe you antibiotics. Antibiotics will kill the bacteria and also will save you from the danger of becoming septic or leading to the problem called as tetanus. And not only that, there are different kinds of antibiotics available in the market, like penicillin, like tetracycline, like streptomycin, like erythromycin. All these are the different kinds of antibiotics which are basically present in the market. For the tetanus, like you will take the TT injection, that is anti-tetanus injection. For all the bacteria which enter into your body, what you will do is you will take the antibiotics which will kill the bacteria. So these antibiotics are very, very useful to us, and these antibiotics will cure not only the killing the bacteria but also several diseases like typhoid, gonorrhea, septicemia. All these kind of diseases will be cured by the using of the antibiotics. Even when you are suffering from a cold also, nowadays you use ampicillin, right? You use it for 5 days so that you can get rid of this cold. So these all antibiotics will help you to cure several diseases. And even animals or plants also will get the diseases which are caused by the bacteria, and even antibiotics are also used for them. So we have to use the antibiotics which are given by a doctor. You cannot use anything on your own. They should be prescribed by a doctor. So if you directly use some antibiotics without prescribing the doctor, without the prescription from the doctor, then they will definitely harm you. Unnecessary use of these kind of antibiotics will definitely harm you, because see, for every small situation, if you keep on taking the antibiotics and all, there are a lot of changes which will take place in your body. First of all, if you take the antibiotics, your resistance power will decrease. Now, because it is corona situation, corona virus is spreading like anything. If you take this antibiotics in a high range and all, they will lower your immunity, they will lower your resistance power. That's why we should not take the antibiotics in this kind of situation. Second thing is that they will kill the bacteria which are present in our body. You might say that it's fine, it's very good that the microorganisms are being killed. No, there are some microorganisms in our body which are synthesized, which are synthesizing a vitamin called as cyanocobalamin in our body. So this cyanocobalamin is a vitamin which is not present in any diet. It is actually produced by the bacteria which are present in our intestines. Now, if you take this antibiotics indiscriminately without for a very small reason, also for each and everything, if you keep on taking the antibiotics, they are not only lowering your resistance power, at the same time they will also kill the microorganisms which are present in our body, which are synthesized by the bacteria which is present in our body. All those bacteria will die, and no more cyanocobalamin will be produced in our body, which will lead to the problem called as pernicious anemia. That means you will completely fall short of blood. Your level of blood will completely become low in the body. So what we have to do is we should not take the antibiotics in a extreme range and all. So here, coming to the penicillin, now we'll see the story of the penicillin. Dr. Alexander Fleming was an army doctor, and he was working in the army at the time of First World War. He observed that many soldiers, they died because of the wounds. Many soldiers, they died because of the bacterial infections in the wounds. So he was working on the bacteria, he was working on the antibiotics in his lab. So one day he was keenly observing, he has a petri dish like this. He had some bacterial colonies here and there. So these bacterial colonies, they should grow in number, but they're not growing in number. Something was stopping them from growing. And when he saw that there was some kind of fungus which is not allowing them to grow properly, so what he did is, and this substance, he removed that, he isolated that, and he tested it on the other bacteria. This fungus, it killed the bacteria. Now he thought, okay, now he separated fungus and said that, and the name of this fungus was Penicillium notatum. The name of the fungus is Penicillium notatum, and from that he made an antibiotic which is called as penicillin. That is how the discovery of penicillin has come into existence. So this is where Alexander Fleming, whenever you talk about the Alexander Fleming, what comes into your mind is the penicillin, because it was discovered by Alexander Fleming. So the discovery of antibiotic which is called as penicillin, it came in the year 1929. Alexander also got the Nobel Prize for this discovery, for this invention, and the discovery of this penicillin has led to the discovery of tetracycline, streptomycin, erythromycin, and what not. And our own Dr. Yellapragada Subbarao, he was the inventor of the aureomycin, which is also called as the tetracycline. It's also called as the tetracycline, which cures a number of bacterial diseases like typhoid, plague, tuberculosis, etc. For all these things, we use the tetracycline drugs that is invented by our own scientist, whose name is Yellapragada Subbarao. He is from the West Godavari district, Andhra Pradesh, India. Okay, so we'll stop this here now, and in the next class we'll see the rest of the lesson. Okay, until then, see you all, take care, bye.